Yo guys, it's tgtracks, and today I'm going to be showing you how to mix and master your UK drill beats. Now obviously, if you're making UK drill beats, it's going to vary from beat to beat, so you're going to have to make some changes, just minor changes in your beats. But I'm going to show you how to mix the beat that I'm making now. So I've got all of my things in here. I'm not going to actually put that all into the mixer just yet, and I actually need to put them in the same channels because I've got some of the same instruments and I want them mixed the same. So I'm gonna just do it manually like this. I'm gonna put this one into channel 4, 5, and 6. Alright, cool. Now I've got everything in the mixer. Just gotta make sure everything is correct. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on my piano and I'm gonna mix this first. So obviously I've got EQ on it already. And what I like to do with piano, I like to take out some of the low mid and obviously all the bass and the low bass out. Don't need that in piano. Otherwise it's gonna sound muddy, so I have to take this off. You can hear it's bassy. It's got too much low resonance in it, and you have to take that out because you don't want that clashing with the bass. So make sure that everything has its own space. So what I'm doing now, I'm using one of the bands, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it sharp like this, and then I'm gonna use my mouse to scroll like this to see what frequency I don't like, and if I don't like that frequency, I'll take it out. I don't like that bit. And where to know where to cut it, you just literally try to find what sound of the frequency you don't like and just cut it out. And if you really don't like it, then you cut out more of it. If it's not that bad, you don't cut out that much. I like that. And obviously if you're raising things, you wanna make sure it's like this. So if you're raising it, you don't want it to be too sharp, you want it to be kind of smooth, and you want to raise it just a little bit. It's actually better to cut out frequencies than to raise frequencies. So I would actually suggest cutting out more frequencies than raising it. But yeah, that's all I need for the piano. Now I'm going to go on to my second instrument. So this one's that Japanese instrument. Yeah, this one doesn't really need too much mixing, so right. A little bit, let's cut out a little bit. Yeah, this one's alright. I don't really need to do much with this one. Alright, so that's done. Now I'm gonna go on to my second instrument. Actually, I'm gonna take this half time off it. And the placement of where you put your VSTs, I'm not even VSTs, the plugins are actually very important. So make sure that you want your most important ones from top to bottom. Now I'm gonna go on to the snares. Snares don't really need to do much to it. Probably make it a bit sharper. And then take that on. Yeah, that's alright. I don't really need to do much with that. Now I'm gonna go to the hi-hats. Probably make this sharper as well. So I'm gonna take this down and then do it like that. That's all I really need to do with the hi-hats. So you can see that I always put a place for everything. So my hi-hats, my snares, they all have a different placement. And obviously in the mixer, everything's the same level, but this is okay if you're adjusting levels through the actual channel itself. So I'm actually adjusting it through here, and then I'm also adjusting it on the actual playlist, on the actual piano roll itself. So as long as everything sounds good, that's what matters. I'm gonna go on to my kicks. Kicks is pretty much where I want it to be. Probably just gonna take out a bit of the high end frequency. You don't really need the high end frequency. I'm actually completely gonna cut it off. Turn the band down. I'm also gonna take down some of that muddy bit. This is how you make it really clean. So just take out a bit of this as well. Cause this bit right here, there's actually nothing registered there. It's just noise. It's just muddy noise. You wanna do the same for your 808s. So I'm gonna go to my 808s. With 808s, I wouldn't really raise anything either. I'll just put it like this. That's it. Now I'm gonna go back to the beat and hear how it sounds. I'm actually just gonna let this loop. Let's see. What I actually like to do, I like to mix around the kick. So I'm gonna listen to the kick now. See how it sounds. Alright, go back to here, wait. And what I'm actually doing, I'm gonna use a distortion thing called tempo, just to get a bit of that distortion. Alright, that's cool. I'm gonna do the hi-hats next. That's alright. That's nice. Yeah, that's alright. If you want to use Oza images as well, you can get this one for free. But I'm gonna let this load. I'm gonna use Oza imager just to see the dynamic range. So okay, the piano is actually wide enough, but I want it slightly wider just to get wider mix. So if you got headphones, you probably notice a subtle difference there. But the piano is wide enough. I want the same thing for this Japanese instrument. I want this slightly wider, but not as wide as the piano. I want it wide, but just not as wide. Okay, so from the vector scope, you can see it's actually kind of wide already, so I don't even need that. That's all I really need. And another thing you can do when you're mixing, put it in mono. So I've mixed it in stereo. Now I'm gonna mix it in mono to see if everything's at the correct level. So I'm gonna just listen back to it. Okay, so the piano needs a bit of raising. And the reason why you want to mix some mono is because if you're listening like back on a mobile device or anything that hasn't really got that stereo width, it's gonna sound different. And obviously if it sounds good on mono here, it's gonna sound good on everything else. If it sounds good on mono and stereo on FL Studio or whatever you're making beats on, it's gonna sound good on the car, it's gonna sound good on the phone, it's gonna sound good on headphones, earphones. It's gonna sound good on everything, your laptop, TV, whatever you're playing out, whatever audio device you're playing it out of, is gonna sound good. So I'm actually gonna distort it just a little bit. It's actually perfect. Can do the same thing with the hi-hats as well. Sometimes you might have to put in mono, but this one is actually already in mono. So if you hear it here, put in mono, sounds exactly the same. Never have it on stereo, because with most 808s you actually want to have it in mono, because the low frequencies need to be more centered in the middle, and then the higher frequencies need to be more spread out. So you might have to do that, but it depends on how you want your mix. If you want your 808s in stereo and you want it to actually come out both ends of the speaker and want it wider, then that's up to you. There's no really, there's not really one way to do it, as long as it sounds good, you know what I'm saying? But the general rule is to just put in mono. That's all you need. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't really need to do much. I can actually go back into the channel and just check everything. So obviously, in one of the previous videos, I told you guys to do Control A and then do Alt R if you want to randomize the volume. Put in bipolar if you want to. I don't really put on bipolar, so I'll just leave it like that. But yeah, you can do that with the piano. You can go to the snares. Don't really need to do too much with the snares. But one thing you can do with the snares is can do like small things like this. So, and then do it low like that. Get that for the snare. You can also do the same with the hi-hats as well, with volume. Just everything is just really volume. And one thing also do with the hi-hats is, I might actually do this right now with ghost notes. Might pan it. Just so actually I'm gonna keep doing that. That's actually quite interesting. Yeah. Just makes it a bit more interesting. Then I'm gonna copy and paste that. Put this right here. And the reason why I don't need to do this, but obviously you just want your beat a bit more interesting, then you could do stuff like that with the panning. So I'm gonna go back into the hook and hear what that sounds like. Yeah, that's it. That's all you really need for mixing. With mixing, don't need to do too much. So as you can see, I've only got 3 things on my piano. The second melody's only got 1 thing. It's really just EQing. It's really just cutting out frequencies and EQing. You don't really need to do too much, and maybe a bit of distortion on certain instruments. So that's all you really need. And then my master's only got soft clipper, so that's it. It's really just doing less, because with beats, the more you do with the beat, I feel like that makes the beat a bit worse, and actually you might be doing too much with the beat to the point that no one can even use the beat. But if you do less with it, do less with in terms of plugins, but do more on the actual channel itself. That's what really is gonna make the beat stand out, and that's what will actually get you that sound you want to get. So yeah, guys, that's the end of the UK drill breakdown series. If you like this series, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you like the most about the series, and also comment down below what video you want next.